Sorry, I just got interrupted here. That was my mom. Uh, so, starting from where I was, I think. So we were leaving the graveyard and this cop started following us, me and my friend, and I told him, just be cool. I'm a good driver. We're not going to do anything suspicious. He'll have no reason to. And I checked. None of my taillights were out. All my equipment was good. Because when you're carrying drugs and shit around, you always want to make sure that your stuff's working so they have no reason to pull you over. You're not speeding, you're not running stop signs. You don't want to get caught, of course. So, yeah. We were leaving there, and he's just following us, and I'm sweating, though, because, he literally just saw us pull out of a graveyard at like 1 or 2 in the morning around Halloween. Probably thinks that, we're up to no good, of course. And we really weren't there to destroy anything or cause property damage. I was just there to do that ritual, and that was it. And so, thankfully, he didn't end up pulling us over. But, ooh, that was scary. Because I didn't know how I was going to explain myself to him on why we were leaving a graveyard at 2 in the morning. It's not a normal time to be at a graveyard. So anyways, we made it out of that, and I dropped him off back in front of my house, and he got in his car and went home. So what I did with the jar was I just took it, and this was like a little second option that came to my mind. I said something similar to and I threw it in the trash, and I said something similar to in the trash with your filthy, relationship. Let it be no more, or something like that. And so then that was that. That was my first magic that I ever did. And then as I started talking to her more, she was telling me her relationship was slowly falling apart. Knew it was working. I also didn't want him sleeping with her anymore, of course, because I wanted to. I don't want no man sticking his dick in the lady that I like. And so I visualized in my head, his dick not working anymore. So that way, even if he wanted to, and just her being uninterested in him, period. And so that, and I just wanted them to get in more fights, anything to tear them apart. And so, after that, basically just talking to her, and I wanted to see her as soon as I could. Trying not to skip over anything. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry, just trying to think here. Oh yeah, then I started watching more of this guy's, videos, and I bought a bunch of his books about different types of magic. So I saw it was working, so I'm like, oh shit, this is my new religion. Here we go. I felt like Christianity sucked and wasn't working for me, so, it's like, well, this is working, so I don't need that. And, So I started getting into that, researching like some of the Egyptian gods, all kinds of demons, anything you can think of, goblins, just basically anything. And anytime someone would piss me off, I'd use that as an opportunity to try something on them, just to kind of build my repertoire. Even if it was just like cutting me off in traffic or something. I'd say something like, "Oh, I hope you die in a car crash," or something, And I'm sure or like get injured, and I'm sure a lot of times that really happened. Because after I started doing stuff like that, there were more car crashes going on around my city. So I think that was a pretty good indicator. And that's kind of how you find out that magic's working, is somehow you get the results brought back to you in some way. If it's not a spirit or demon telling you it, it's someone you know. And so I basically was just, oh, and then the police were one of my favorite targets. Of course, being a guy who sells and uses drugs, you don't want to get caught by the police. Even though it was mainly just weed, still in an illegal state, so I would use anything or any spirit that hated authority, the police, because I hated the police. And honestly, I'm still not the biggest fan of them. I think they're a bunch of assholes, and they take advantage of their power and they get away with a lot of shit that they shouldn't. But then again, that's why I chose magic, to get away with shit that I shouldn't. And so, and like, think about it. In court, too, somebody says, "Oh, this guy attacked me with demons," like, the jury's probably gonna laugh your ass out of the courtroom and think you're retarded or something, Because unless you know about the spirit world and stuff like that, you're just gonna think that's crap, like it's total cap. But yeah, so it's kind of nice, because I mean, of course, if you try to like shoot a cop or something, then yeah, they're probably gonna catch you and you're gonna go to jail forever, or for at least 40, 50 years probably. So it's like, what ways could I get rid of them without actually doing any physical harm? And so that kept me from ever getting pulled over. There were some very close calls, but I got some stuff like Papa Legba, his protection veve is what they would call it. Which, if y'all want to look that up, you can. I just basically took, I think it was oil, like olive oil or something. I just took it and I put it on like all the windows and shit on my car, mainly the back window, for sure, because I wanted any of them behind me, they're reading my license plate and deciding to pull me over or not. I wanted them to feel so much fear that they felt like they couldn't, and I think that really worked. And even to this day, I still haven't been pulled over. I was pulled over like one time when I was 16 because I was speeding 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. But that explains why, you're speeding, so. Oh shit. Try to think here. I get tired. Oh, sorry guys. It's really, later at night now. I don't know why they turned the lights off on me in the garage. But anyways, we'll make do with my car light here. Yeah. So basically just watching live streams, interacting with all the fellow witches and wizards out there, and for any of you watching, Aries the Wizard here, so you'll know who I am if you're a part of that group. And, I still love you guys. I'm praying for y'all, to come out of that. I love you guys. So, total love, Um, 'cause they're in the same situation as me, felt rejected by society and thrown away. So, I get it. And I love them. They're actually good people. A lot of them would do good things with their magic too, like I know one of my favorite people, he would like to attack, sexual predators and stuff. People that like to get children, in bad, naughty ways. And he'd like to give them heart attacks or bleeding buttholes, like all kinds of stuff. And even though I don't really agree with magic, I still respect him for that, because F those people. You're gonna mess with like an 8-year-old child, you deserve whatever's coming to you. But, anyways. Yeah, so I just started getting deeper into the books and trying to learn as much as I could. I even joined a group ritual, and that's how I got the flies from Beelzebub. First group ritual that I'd ever done, and, group rituals online work just as good as in person, so they're not any weaker, they're just as strong. The same thing as like where two or more are gathered, are gathered together with me, I'll be with them, as Jesus would say. Same thing with demons and Satan and stuff. Where two or more people are gathered with him, he'll be right there too, So, yeah, that's basically just trying to develop my powers in that, and attacking their relationship constantly. Whatever I could think of to attack them with. Not her. I specifically told him, don't hurt her. Hurt him, Even though in the end it still ended up hurting her, but you can't control them, You think you can, but you can't control those forces. They're gonna do what they want to do, whether you like it or not. Oh, goodness. Sorry, I have an anxiety disorder too. I just stopped smoking weed recently. So I took a Valium, not too long ago. It's making me extra sleepy. But anyways, so I finally one day just said, you know what? F it. I'm gonna go up to where she lives, which is all the way at the top of the U.S. I'm at the very bottom, southernmost state, and she's at the northernmost state. So I drove 1,500 miles all by myself with the blessing of Asmodeus, which was one of the demons I worked with. He has power over sex and lust and, all that stuff. Yes, some crazy stuff. I had some of the spiciest sex I've ever had in my life. I'd be lying if I didn't say that. Like when I first, met her in that parking lot, when I got up to her state that night, she grabs me. She's like, "You're so bad," you know. Just thinking about that, ugh, still gets me. And she just takes me and she throws me in the back of the seat of my old car. And she gets right on top of my lap. And guys, y'all understand where I'm coming from. I tell you, I got like an instant boner pretty much. And she was grinding all on me and kissing on me and stuff. Oh, it was a great experience. That drive back to the hotel, though, with those blue balls, that was something. Every little bump I hit was painful. It was so painful I couldn't even finish myself off in the hotel room. Like, it took me like an hour of jacking it to do it because it just hurt so bad to touch down there. That's how aroused and, that I was. And so, I ended up having a great trip up there with her. We had quite a bit of sex that was amazing. Got to visit some beautiful lakes. It was a great time. Smoked some good weed up there. Yeah. But even though I didn't want God around, he was always watching out for me. Let's see, nothing magical other than the sex, which was magical, happened there. I was driving back home from that 15 or 1600 mile drive, and I had just hit Oklahoma. I was starting to get so drowsy. This is one of the times in my life I almost died. I was getting so drowsy. I grabbed an energy drink from my back seat. It's a Monster. I never drink those. I usually drink coffee, so I'm like, alright, I'm in Oklahoma. I can finish this. I'm almost back to Texas. Fuck yeah. So, I take that and, still driving along, and when you're on cruise control, and you can just go to sleep like that while you're driving if you've been driving for 10 hours like I had, And so I had a second of micro sleep, and all of a sudden I wake up, and there's a fucking Oklahoma state trooper car that I'm about to run into on the side of the road, probably it was like at the beginning of a construction zone, and I said, oh shit. And so I grabbed the wheel and I jerked that bitch so hard. And the adrenaline from that woke my ass up. And then, I was so shaken up, I called my parents because I was close to being back home. And I said, I pulled over after that, off and just stopped my car for a minute at a gas station. I told them, yo, can you book me a hotel for the night? I think I'm done driving for now. So they did, thankfully. Oh, it was only like 10 minutes more drive, so which was great. I rolled all the windows down, turned my Lil Uzi Vert up, I was bumping that shit so hard trying to vibe just to stay awake, just so I could make it safely and parked and go to bed. And I did, of course. But yeah, the next day I finished that drive, And the hotel that I was at wasn't the greatest. Right when I pull up out front, there was somebody serving people white powders out of a baggie, and it was next to a truck stop. So, yeah, not the greatest place to stop. So I always had a knife with me. I didn't want to take my guns state to state just in case they caught me with those, But I still carried my knife. So I'm like, I'm going to bring this inside my room tonight. I did. That was fun. Woke up the next day, coffee and breakfast. Oh, shit. And I hit the road. Came back to Dallas. I was exhausted from that experience. Rolled up the fattest blunt I could and smoked that bitch. So, yeah. Then after that, we started flying her down here to come stay and spend time with me. But that relationship didn't last very long. Not for a little while. And the guy that was telling me about love magic, he's like, it's probably not gonna last. But, I was so in love, I didn't want to listen. I didn't care either. So then I go to introduce her to the guy that helped ruin the relationship. He got really jealous because she's fucking gorgeous. Absolutely a 10 out of 10. I love, short, red-headed girls. And that's what she was. Like 5', 5'1", redhead. That's my number right there. But yeah, I brought her into the gas station I worked at the time. And, yeah, I told him, don't mention weed, don't mention drugs. She fucking hates drugs. I mentioned that to him so many times before I brought her in there, and the first words out of his mouth were about, hey, want me to go home and roll up a blunt and, we can smoke some weed together on the roof? At that point, I knew I was like, ooh, I'm gonna get you, I ended up making her laugh, though, and we had a good time the rest of that night, but I was able to recover it. But still, back in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna get you, motherfucker. I'm gonna get you, And I did. I got him hard. And so, I started trying to attack him with everything I had. Candle spells, just using my mind. I used my mind to set his room on fire in his house. I found that out later through a mutual friend of ours. He said he didn't know what happened. It just caught on fire in his bathroom, which was next to his room. And it didn't burn very much because they probably had a fire extinguisher and put it out pretty quick, but still made that happen with my mind. So, magic just gives you little nuggets throughout when you're doing it to keep you going, keep you on the wrong path. But at that point, my relationship was going so bad, I was so blinded with revenge that I was like, I'm gonna, just ruin him. I knew he hadn't been paying his car payment either, so closed my eyes, like I normally do. I just visualized that tow truck hunting his car down and getting it, And so I did that, and I think about like a week or two later, I find out his car was taken by a tow truck. He told that mutual friend that he went in to shower. He had gotten home from the store, parked his car in the driveway, went in to shower, came back, and it was gone. That tow truck guy was like a little ghost. Like, he did it so quick and quiet, he never knew what happened. And so, yeah. Then pretty soon after that, his relationship started going bad. His girlfriend ended up having a seizure. She was prone to that. Got put in a like a permanent care facility, So I was like, you know what, fuck him. If he's gonna break up my relationship, I'm gonna break up his relationship. So that's kind of how that went. And that's the thing about the magic community too. Everyone in it is actually genuine, lovely people that are just like me, that make the wrong decisions, good intentions and wanting to help others. Most of us are animal lovers. I never did any animal sacrifice or any blood magic or anything like that. I tried to cut myself a couple times to use blood to make it stronger, but it's like I pressed down with the knife no matter how hard and it just wouldn't cut. It was weird, But yeah, that never worked for me. Pretty much anything else I did worked though. I was always interested stuff like that. Astrology was big for me. My girl was a Scorpio and I was an Aries, so that's why we were so spicy together, probably. Two fire signs, if anybody knows about that stuff. I could make a whole video on astrology. But yeah, it's like, it's crazy. You just keep wanting more and more and more power. So I just started thinking of myself as a god, and I wanted to be God. And that was wrong. Name any commandment, and I broke all of them at least once. So let the record be shown that if I can be saved by God and Jesus, you can too. And I don't know about the murder one though, because I caused someone to attempt suicide with magic, but I can't, I never heard exactly if, they shot themselves, so I'm assuming that they died, but I was never confirmed, that fully. 'Cause some people shoot themselves and they don't die. But yeah. So I just counted it as if I did, Stupid light. Sorry about that, guys. So yeah, that's basically how that went. Yeah, and then God showed me hell and where I would be. And it's like I woke up there, and it's hard to explain, but it's like you just know where you are. You know, there's no way around it. Like, I was in a cave with cell bars, like a jail cell bars, you know, keeping me from getting out. I knew I could move, but I didn't want to. The fear was so gripping and intense. Like, I can't even describe to you guys how intense the fear was. I honestly don't even know if God let me feel the full fear that people feel there. I don't know if my soul could have handled it and come back okay. Sorry, it's getting me a little anxious here. But yeah, I didn't see like anything except for my spot because I didn't want to see any more of that place. How it was making me feel and just knowing where I was, I cried out to Jesus. I was like, please, please don't leave me here. Give me another chance. You know, please, please save me. And then I came back into my body. I was in my bed, and I was upright, leaned up like this, and I was shaking, and I was screaming like, ah. And I was literally like that for 5 or 10 minutes. I don't even know how I was breathing during that time. I was just convulsing or like seizuring, whatever you want to call it, so bad that I was, you know, I couldn't explain it. My body hurt so bad from just shaking violently. And oh my gosh. Sadly, that didn't stop me from going back to magic. I occasionally went back here and there until one day I finally just threw the rocks and the candles and I deleted all my spell books. You know, and I had to say, that's a wrap. No more playing in the devil's playground. And so, I only want to be on God's team now. I feel like this covered my testimony really well. I can make separate videos about the different types of magic, because that's part of the reason I know God brought me back. He wanted me to spread the word about what I did. You know, I think mainly as proof is like, yo, if he can save me from hell, he can save any one of you, you know? But yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing he can't do. Trying to think of anything else I could say in this video. It's okay to be curious about magic and stuff like that. I really was, but it's really not worth it. Yeah, you know, yes, you will get what you want, but it always comes with a twist. And even if it's exactly what you wanted, it's not gonna last. Pretty much, like, that's almost a guarantee. The only way to build a solid foundation is with Jesus Christ, trusting Him. Like every day now, like I still don't do it every day, but almost every single day, I pull up the 10 Commandments on my phone when I wake up, just to make sure I'm not breaking any of His rules. Because I want to be in heaven one day, and I believe in Jesus and His resurrection and His power to forgive. So I will be, but I want to see every single one of you that's watching this video there too. And to all my magic buddies, feel free to comment. I miss every single one of you guys. I just won't be participating in the rituals or, any of that anymore, but you're always welcome to talk to me, And I'm praying that every single one of you is brought away from the devil and towards God. That's what I'm praying for. And God's really changed my life. I go and I help a non-profit organization with donkey therapy. It's helping me with my PTSD and anxiety. And taking care of animals is something God wants us all to do. That's one of the things I pray about the most too. I thank Him for saving the animals on the ark, because life would be absolutely dog shit without animals. I'm telling you that much for sure. But peace out, guys. Hit me up with any questions. I'll answer them in the comments. I'll try to post soon. Later, y'all.